Fear doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. It speaks in quiet moments when the lights are off and your dreams refuse to sleep. It asks dangerous questions. What if you fail? What if you're not enough? What if you try and lose everything? And little by little, those whispers decide your future. If you've ever felt this fear, you're not alone. Subscribe for stories that wake you up. Like this video if it speaks to you. And comment below what fear has been holding you back. Because the moment you face it, everything can change. This is the story of a man whose life was slowly being stolen. Not by failure, not by enemies, not by bad luck, but by fear. His name was Ethan. From the outside, Ethan looked like someone who had everything under control. He woke up on time, went to work, smiled when required, nodded when spoken to, but inside fear had built a home. Fear of disappointing others, fear of making the wrong choice, fear of being judged, fear of standing out, fear of trying and failing. Every decision Ethan made was filtered through one question: what if I'm not good enough? As a child, Ethan had been curious, expressive, full of ideas. He asked questions others were afraid to ask. He dreamed dreams too big for his small town, but life has a way of teaching fear early. A teacher once laughed at his answer. A classmate mocked his voice. An adult said, "Be realistic." Each moment was small, but together they formed a cage. By the time Ethan became an adult, fear was no longer something he felt. It was something he obeyed. He stayed in a job he hated because it felt safe. He stayed silent in meetings even when he had better ideas. He avoided relationships because rejection felt unbearable. He delayed his dreams by telling himself, "one day." But one day never came. Instead, days blended into years, and fear grew stronger. Every night, Ethan lay in bed replaying conversations that never happened, regretting risks he never took, imagining lives he never lived. He watched others move forward while he stood still, not because he lacked talent, but because fear convinced him he lacked permission. Fear said, "You're not ready." Fear said, "You'll embarrass yourself." Fear said, "Stay where you are," and Ethan listened. Until one night something broke. It wasn't dramatic. No explosion, no tears, just exhaustion. He sat alone in his apartment, staring at the walls, realizing something terrifying. Fear hadn't just protected him from failure. It had protected him from life. He saw the pattern clearly for the first time. Every regret traced back to fear. Every missed opportunity had the same root. And a single thought hit him harder than any insult ever had. If nothing changes, this will be my entire life. That thought scared him more than fear itself. So Ethan did something unfamiliar. He stopped running. The next morning, his fear was still there. His hands still shook. His heart still raced. But this time, he didn't wait for fear to disappear. He acted with it. He spoke in a meeting, voice unsteady, words imperfect. Nothing terrible happened. He applied for a position he felt unqualified for. He didn't get it, but the world didn't end. He said yes to a conversation he would normally avoid, and discovered connection instead of rejection. Each step was small, but each step weakened fear's grip. Ethan learned something crucial. Fear loses power when it's exposed to action. It feeds on avoidance. It grows in silence, but it shrinks when challenged. Slowly, fear stopped being a wall and became a signal. Not a warning to stop, but a sign that growth was nearby. Life didn't suddenly become easy. Ethan still doubted himself, still failed, still felt afraid, but fear no longer decided for him, and that changed everything. Years later, Ethan looked back at the man he used to be, the man who almost disappeared behind fear. He realized something profound. Fear didn't try to destroy his life all at once. It tried to erase it quietly, one excuse at a time, one delay at a time, one maybe later at a time. And he understood this truth. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is choosing not to obey it. If you're listening to this and you feel stuck, if fear has been making decisions for you, if your dreams feel distant and heavy, remember this. Fear will always speak, but you don't have to listen. Your life is waiting on the other side of the action you keep postponing. Don't wait until fear steals years you'll never get back. Face it. Step forward, even shaking. Because the fear that almost destroyed his life became the reason he finally lived it.